this video, we are going to talk about some of the ideas and the thoughts that eventually led to the American Revolutionary War. We are going to start a long time ago. Long ago. Way back, even before LeBron even started in Cleveland. That's how long ago it was. Way back in the day, the Middle Ages. In the time of the Middle Ages, people obeyed their kings. There were kings, and they ruled their areas, and nobody really bothered to think why. Of course you obeyed your king. You know, just as what people did. You know, you didn't think, why is there a king? You didn't ponder it, you just obeyed. And if you didn't, you died. Well, around the year 1500, people started to question, why do we have kings? What is the purpose of kings? Why are they here? And some posited the idea of divine right of kings. That is, they believed that kings were put in place by God and that it was a duty of the people to obey the kings. That to go against the king meant that you were in effect going against God. So that was the first time people started to think, why do we even have kings? Well, as time went on, there was, of course, a famous intellectual movement of the 16 and 1700s known as the Enlightenment. And during the Enlightenment, people started to go further than just, well, this is what's always been. And people started to really question and to come up with theories as to why we have kings. And two philosophers in particular challenged this notion. They were known as Thomas Hobbes and John Locke. They were both English. You might be wondering, why are you telling me that they were both English? And I will get to that question and I will answer it at the end of the video. Thomas Hobbes, first of all, lived during the English Civil War, which was a time of great unrest and upheaval. And he came to see firsthand that when government falls apart, anarchy comes in. And anarchy, despite the fad in the 1970s and people putting that little logo everywhere, notwithstanding, anarchy is not very pleasant. And he saw several friends whose careers were ruined by the disaster. Most likely he knew of people who died during the Civil War. And he came to his famous belief that life is nasty, brutish, and short. That's an upper. In order to keep life from completely spiraling out of control, people needed kings to step in and maintain order in society. And they needed to do this with an iron fist. Therefore, Hobbes believed that kings should have absolute power, like a Leviathan, which is his famous book. They should have a power like a great sea monster, and they should be obeyed. Now, you might not think this is very revolutionary. I mean, he's still saying we need a king, and we need a booyah king, but here is why it's a big deal. He was now saying that we give kings power for our own good. That they were not put there by God, just dropped on the planet by God, but that we give them power and they in turn maintain an orderly society. He started to really think of why we need power in a society. And it's therefore, Hobbes set the stage for other more revolutionary thinkers down the road, because it's not a big leap then to say, if we can maintain order without having a king, why don't we do that? That is a real revolution of Thomas Hobbes, that he started to figure out that there is a reason for why we need power and need kings in a society. John Locke, another Englishman, followed in his footsteps and went further than Hobbes. Now, he believed that human beings were granted natural rights. That we have natural rights. Now, he believed that we are given our rights from God, and that governments are created to protect these rights. He famously said we have the right to life, liberty, and the ownership of property. And these are the rights that kings secure for us. He believed that government was based on a social contract. In other words, people, we obey the government, and in return, the government protects our rights. So it's a contract. We give something to them, they give something to us. We both work out from it. Now here's a kicker. Government has to protect our rights, and if it doesn't, the government has broken the contract, and we have a right to overthrow the ruler. This is big stuff. Nobody ever said things like this during the Middle Ages. Nobody said, well, you know, King Henry II, he's not really securing my... I'm dead. That's not really a good death acting. Anyways, so this is big stuff. This is preparing the way for a revolution. And this gets us to the question, where is the influence of this? Why is it important that these two guys are English? Here's why it's important. Because they were English, they would have a profound influence on the English colonies. The 13 colonies, the future United States of America. That's right. The colonists themselves internalized these ideas, and they believed that they should obey the king. They did believe in obeying the king, but if the king ever failed to protect their rights, they believed that they had every right to get rid of him. That idea would bear some fruit in the 1760s and the 1770s when the colonists decided that King George III was not upholding their rights. And it would play a major role in the coming of the Revolutionary War. Now, would this be the only thing that would eventually lead to the Revolutionary War? No. John Locke, when he wrote his books, you know, the two treatises of government, he wrote that in the late 1600s. This would not... There are other factors that played into it. Now, what were those other things that led to the Revolutionary War? That is for another video. In the meantime, have a great afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow. I might see you Monday. I might see you... I don't know. I'll see you again.